Now we are.
What?
We're recording now.
What? Dude, we're back. This is episode 7 of Two
Little
Blank
hiatus.
Girls.
Don't worry about it.
Two Blank Girls. I'm Annitsa.
I'm Jenna.
Welcome back. Sorry, we may seem like we have a little energy, littler than usual, but that's kind of the point, I think.
Yeah.
So we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about it because we got a lot of shit to talk about.
Thank you guys for holding on and waiting it out and
yeah, we appreciate
with us
it
and being in touch and all those good things.
Yeah, and all the well wishes. You guys are amazing.
Yeah, we're fucking back.
We're
my
back.
Stomach is so bad.
Ooh.
Ugh, so before shit goes down, let's just get into this. Guys, on the eve of July 18th, we're two coping girls.
Oh God. Are we recording?
We're recording.
Again?
I feel like we should say the stupid stuff first. Be like, follow us on Facebook.
Oh, absolutely.
Instagram, Twitter, all those things.
Go to our website, Two Blank Girls.
Become a patron now more than ever. Just support us. We need it. We need the love. Just kidding.
It's fun. Yeah, it feels weird saying those things because we know how fucking unimportant in the long run.
Yeah.
It's just so that love-hate with social media. We're just you know what? It's fucking awesome.
It's so cool.
But we fucking, I don't care right now. You guys get it. I know you get it. Also,
this is probably the worst angle to be shot at, but it's fine for our patrons.
Yeah.
That's why it's a bonus to become a patron, because you can see how uncomfortable I am sitting here being filmed.
She was like, I don't want to be that close to your face.
Yeah. Well, no, we're sitting here about to have I feel like what is going to be a deep combo.
The most intense.
Right up in your grill. So.
This is when we need to be close to each other of any time. This is it, I think.
We'll end up holding each other. I can feel it.
God, you guys are going to want to donate a buck to us every month.
$1 and you can fucking watch. Just see the awkwardness that just radiates from my body.
And I'm trying to think. We gotta shout out I'm going to shout out a patron right now. Ray Laskowski.
Yeah.
She's a more recent patron, but I want to say we love you.
We love you, Ray.
You're amazing. And also thank you for that fucking review on iTunes.
Hell
it was baller. So
she's amazing. So thanks,
okay,
Ray.
Guys, I don't even know where to start. This is madness. I mean, I guess let me just do the definition real quick. Okay. Coping is dealing with and attempting to overcome problems and difficulties. I don't even think that fucking sums up what's happening right now. I don't know if most of the people who are listening might not know what's been happening.
People might have an idea, but it doesn't necessarily give the scope of what this last 6 weeks has been like for you mostly. I mean, it's been traumatic for everybody who knows Sam and everything. So, but
Sam is my brother. For those of you who don't know, Sam is my younger brother. He's 30 years old. Don't guess how old I am based on that. But he had a heart attack and 2 cardiac arrests,
which is
within the span of
insane.
2-3 hours or whatever. And so we were just complaining about how tired we are right now, and we are so tired, but just think about how tired we've been in the last month and how this doesn't even compare to that. Guys, the whole thing, I feel like this episode of anything is to just share with you some difficulty and darkness and some hope and positivity that came from it. But just because I know that some of you have gone through something like this. I know it. And it's so fucking hard. And let us please just commiserate right now. Yeah.
This is still a comedy podcast. Don't let this fool you. My stomach hurts. Things of that nature are still happening.
If she has to fart mid episode, I'll just make her put the microphone down there.
Yeah, just to keep some lightness. But
But I feel
but it's okay for the dark to come in because that's what everybody.
I think that is one of the things that my family and I talked about during this whole ordeal was that, and my cats are about to fight and murder each other. Hey,
ooh, that was nasty.
Louie. Busy, are you okay?
Oh, shit.
Guys,
Like
Louis just like
fucking
straight up
alley cats just fucking.
just bit Busy's back. Busy, are you okay, sweetie pie? You okay?
You
Come
okay?
here.
That was not nice.
Okay, a little brief pause
We're coping from that because that was
that
intense.
was kind of traumatizing in itself. I don't even remember. Oh, one of the things we were talking about is that like throughout this whole thing, we still had moments of fun and positivity and like family. There was something about like, so it was like no matter how dark and horrible the days would get, it was like it was nice to be together. Like we would be talking as a family. Everybody would be sharing stories and laughing, and like you have to, like, being human is that.
Yeah, and you have to find ways to bring that to it. Otherwise, all of you will just like crumble into like a trillion pieces and no one will be able to like recover. I think it's part of like coping. It's part of.
And I think that's the truth with the opposite way as well. Like we can't just like, yeah, we're a comedy podcast, but sometimes it's hard.
Yeah.
And so we got it. And we just felt like it would be really weird to just ignore what happened.
Totally. Oh my God. We can never just like, be
like, and we're back. Bing, 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 bing.
And just like do that deal.
I mean, it would trust us. We'll be back to that pretty quick here.
Yeah. And
but,
it was, I mean, it was just, it's like, you know, the point of this episode is how do you cope when stuff like this happens? I've never had to cope. Really. I've lost grandparents, but that's
something that's
normal,
more
expected, more normal.
Yeah.
And you cope with it by being with your family, being with your friends. We went to the night my grandfather died. I had to go see a movie. We went and saw It Follows because I was like, right. I need to not like. My grandfather passing was like kind of a blessing because he suffered from a very terrible disease, from Alzheimer's and dementia, like severe. So like for the last 5 years of his life,
that's so hard.
It was so hard. Horrible to watch. So it was almost like a relief when he died, but I was still like fucking devastated because it was my pop.
Of course.
But my way of coping was like, I need to not like wallow in my sadness, because when I do that, I tend to go really far down a hole that you can't like. And I was like a fucking Debbie Downer, but we went and saw a movie. I was like, that's what I want to do. I wanted to go like see a movie and just like forget for a second.
Right, and we went.
And we went, and it was great, and it was exactly what I needed. And then I got on a plane the next day, so it was like,
yeah.
You know,
I mean, that's, you know, talking about being with friends and family and whatever, like that was such a huge thing for me. So like the first day that it happened, I mean, that was insane. First, I was awakened by the phone call, of just my brother sobbing, my youngest brother sobbing and saying, Anna, you need to come home right now. And I was just like, what's going on? And he said, here, talk to Terry. He handed it off to my aunt because he couldn't even finish.
Yeah.
And then she's like, honey, you need to come home right now. Sam isn't breathing. He's in the hospital. And I
Jesus Christ.
crumbled to the fucking floor.
Yeah.
Legitimately, like I couldn't get up. I like crawled into the hallway and I was screaming, and Jess came out. Luckily, again, my friend was there, and I handed her the phone. I said, you got to talk to Terry. Sam's not breathing. I don't even know if I made any fucking sense.
Yeah.
Because all I remember was being on the floor screaming, no, this can't be real. This can't be real. No. And my fucking neighbor Judy comes up. Judy, sweetheart, she comes knocking on the door like, is everything okay? Because I was just, she could, you know, everybody in the fucking building could hear me screaming. Because honestly, and I know you know this because I've said it many times, that my worst nightmare is something happening to my brothers.
Oh yeah, and that's why this sucks, because I feel like, but we've talked about it like many times, being like, that's a worst case. I started thinking about it today. And I literally was like, I think I would just probably go too. And that's so morbid and sad, and like I can't think like that, but oh my God, like end of the world kind of like fucking thing with my siblings, because I feel like your siblings are like a totally different ball game than like your parents or your I mean, as close as you and I mean, we're practically like sisters, but there's something with your actual siblings where it's like they're literally like part of you.
It's your life.
God, I cannot start crying.
If
already.
you're that close to your family like we are, like, see, I feel like right now at this point I am so numb. My tears are like dried
your
the
tear
fuck
ducts
up.
are like done.
But so I was saying that like Jess was able to like get some information, and then luckily you were nearby.
I was across the street.
You were blocks away.
Yeah.
And so Jess called Jenna and got her over here.
Well, and I fucking knew. I knew something. Well, because I told,
this is weird too, you guys. This is fucking nuts.
Was the fucking most insane thing. I do suffer from anxiety. It happens, and panic attacks. But that morning, I woke up at like 5 a.m. with the most, which would have been around 7 a.m. in North Dakota, which is weird because it happened shortly after that, I believe.
Yeah,
right?
It was like around 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Or no. Yes, it was around like 8 o'clock because it was 10 or so our time.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
And so.
Or no.
No. It would have been. Fucking fuck time zones.
I can't even fucking
get
think.
it.
I can't even fucking
Anyways,
think.
I woke up around 5:30 a.m. with the most horrendous anxiety attack and like dread. Dread is the only word that like. I was like, it felt like I couldn't move because if I moved, it was like the end of the world was going to happen. I was like having the worst morning to the point where I texted Annitsa because we were supposed to do the podcast that day. And I texted her. I was like, dude, something is like so wrong. And I don't know if I can do this today. Like I just was like, I went into my mom was in town, went into my mom's bedroom, and I just laid in her bed and I was like, something is like so wrong. And then not an hour later I saw the call from Jess and I'm like, that's weird. Jess does not call. She always texts.
Yeah.
So for Jess to call at like 8 a.m, I was like, okay, this is weird. And then it just like,
yeah, because I think it happened around 10 o'clock is when they ended up going to the hospital. So that was 8 o'clock our time. Yeah. So it was just fucking. And then, like, you guys fucking saved me that day because, Jess, like, booked my flight. Like, I just gave her my credit card. I was like, just whatever. Just get me something out, now, like, as soon as possible. And fucking, like, just cross my fingers. Thank whatever the fuck that I was able to go out of Burbank, which was insane.
Yeah.
And I have to drive all the way down to LAX, which anybody living in Los Angeles knows that was the blessing in itself. Yeah. And that day, like, I cannot even begin to like rehash this entire experience. And I don't think anybody needs to or wants to hear it. But that day was something very, very, very fucked up for everybody. Just because like for me, it was so bad because I wasn't there. And so I was just getting phone call after phone call and just like my heart
holding your breath for like, until you landed. It was just like.
And then I got stuck in Denver because of weather. There was a huge storm, and that flight, I just thought, I don't even care. Like it normally I would have been so scared because we were on this tiny plane and legitimately we're holding the seats in front of us because of the turbulence. We were flying straight into this fucking storm, and we had gotten delayed like 3 hours. And I just thought, I don't care. Whatever happens, I'm going to die trying to get there.
Yeah.
Because at that point, we didn't know if he was going to live.
Yeah.
And they even said, but the thing is, as bad as it was for me, as bad as it was for you guys here, like my family that day, Jesus, I don't even know.
Yeah.
I don't know, because you guys, this whole experience, that 2 separate times the doctors said to my family that he will not survive. Yeah. So essentially say goodbye. And we both times said, fuck, no. You don't know Sam, and you don't know Sam. Guys, those of you who don't know him, he is a fucking fighter, and I said that right away. And you went to a psychic that day. I went to a psychic that day because I'm a psycho, and I was like, and it was honestly very scary because I was like, dude, she could like legit like say something today that is not gonna be that you don't want to hear,
that I don't want to hear. But then she could also be bullshitting me. But just in her voice, when she said, I got to ask questions, and I was like, I have a dear friend who just had a heart attack, and we don't know if he's gonna make it. And she's like, he's a fighter. And I was like, oh fuck, that's so weird. 'Cause that's literally like what you said earlier, right before you left. And it was just like, okay, so this is the only choice we have because there is no other option. Yeah, because that will not work for anyone. So
well, Jenna knows Sam too, not only because he's my brother, but because he is the third in our production company trio.
Yeah, our little TLC, baby.
TLC, Tough Luck Chinless, Faux Life.
We've filmed for years together. Have just been like a little trio of just like
it's the three of us. It always
and like we just Sam and I were really close. Just through because I was Annitsa's best friend and he became really close with me and opened up with you. So that's why this hit me crazy hard. And I also like talking about I haven't had to cope. Like I have not had to do this before. I've never dealt with someone this close to me having such a traumatic experience and then having to just like figure out how to go day to day. And it was such a like roller coaster every single day once you left. And then it's hard too because like you left and I was like, you can't do anything when you're all the way out here. You can't, there's nothing you can really do except for like check in. And I just didn't sleep. You were waiting by the phone because like in the middle of the night you would text me like somehow, I didn't want to sleep because I thought maybe I'd miss something. So it was, and that's like a fraction of what you guys, because it's insane.
I guess we never really mentioned that he's back in North Dakota. This happened in Bismarck, North Dakota. So it's like 1,500 miles away. And so, and what's weird, this is so weird too, because honestly, when I think about stuff, I am not a religious person and I am not like at all. I am an atheist and I don't even think that I'm very spiritual, but I think that I feel connected to certain things or I have certain beliefs, I guess. But there's just something sometimes where I just go, things were meant to be somehow, which is so fucking weird when I have those feelings because I was supposed to have a vacation, a 3-week vacation to Bismarck. 10 days after that. So I had already planned to be home for 3 weeks. So when the call came, I left 10 days early. So it was fucking nuts that I already had planned to like be away and be there at that time. And then not only that, but like this seems like such a dumb thing too, but honest to God, I've never in my life purchased, honest to God. It's just that that's a fucking phrase honest to bloopers. Honest to this coffee table. I'm sorry guys, I don't fucking believe that shit. I do not. I don't. It's just something to say. Anyway, or maybe I do subconsciously. Maybe you know what? Maybe
Jesus.
It's deep inside.
You love Jesus. Just say it.
I have never in my life purchased trip insurance. And you guys, this is such a stupid thing, but I fucking did.
On this trip,
I purchased trip insurance. And I know that's just the stupid, sounds so fucking stupid, but why would I have done that?
Yeah,
I've never,
weird.
ever in my life purchased trip insurance.
So
and then I needed, I got $99 back, bitch.
Shit.
so let's just.
No, it was well, and then just the fact that Sam, he is alive. I hope you guys I feel like we didn't really say that, but people probably know.
We said some things happened, and there's a lot more we will tell, but yes.
But he is here, and there is like, again, I'm not the most
it's a fucking
I'm
miracle.
not a religious person either, but there are some weird juju around it because like the doctors have no medical reason for him to be alive, so that means that like whatever energy conspired and like came together and like there is a reason he is still here, like, and you have to just hold on to that, and
this
that's a way to cope too, like, is to just believe in something. You have to like
people. Yeah, there are people who turn to religion, who turn to turn to spirituality, who turn to because when something that happens that makes no fucking sense at all. At all.
You
like
have
you
to
get,
find something
you have to find
believe
something
in, and like
because you get so angry, you get so confused, you get so sad. I mean, my mom said at one point, like, if Sam comes back, if he can come back, I will go to fucking church every Sunday. And she doesn't do that either.
But the thing is too is that you can say like it's that thing is like there can't be a God. Because it's like shit like that, or like if something like this could happen to someone who is so like innocent and special and is so sweet and like loving towards like the earth and animals and like his little, I mean, he has a fucking what is it you were saying he's got?
Oh, it's a humane bug trapper.
Bug trap. So like fucking roaches.
And like spiders and any bug in the house. It's a way to catch them and bring them outside without hurting them or squishing them.
Like he has the biggest heart. So it is like, you're like, there is no God if like shit like this happens. But
everyone said that during this time too.
Yeah.
Like Eddie said that too. He's like, if he dies, I don't know what to think about it. He's like, nothing makes sense and the world is stupid. He's like, how can I ever, like, that for us, it was like, this is truly the end of the world. Like, we didn't know how to cope with it because it just felt like we can't do this without him. Yeah. He is a part of us. Like, we cannot do this without him.
Well, and that's the thing too you have to think about is people fucking lose their brothers every single day. People lose their sisters every day, who are probably the most incredible people as well. Some we could do without. You know what I mean? Like, there are bad people in the world, but I'm saying like really good people.
Yeah, it happens all the time. It happens all the time.
But it didn't happen to Sam.
No.
So it's like,
we are so lucky. We are so. Yeah. I mean, so we had just a little bit more about his condition. I mean, he died twice and they brought him back, which is insane. So essentially, his heart completely stopped. He flatlined. He was without oxygen to his brain for 40 minutes. They did compressions on his chest for 4 hours. Like, not, in a row, but cumulatively throughout the day. This kid, he was in a coma. He was on life support. He had there are 5 organs essential to survival, and all 5 of his were failing. His brain, his lungs, his liver, his heart, and his kidneys. They had to put him into medically induced hypothermia to slow down all of the functions in order to help his heart. They paralyzed him, which is, again, my mom having to like sign off on that. They're okay, so we have to paralyze your kid now. Insane. And like, for her to sign off on that, it was just so hard. She's like, okay, like, whatever you need to do to save him. Yeah. And like, all of that was happening. And I mean, you guys, for those of you who know what it's like to live through like a hospital trauma like this, where you're there not knowing what's going on from day to day, from hour to hour. I mean, that was something that you guys knew, from being in contact with me every day. Yeah. It was like every day was like a roller coaster. And that's such a cliche thing to say, but I can't describe it any way else.
The ups and downs, the good, the positive, and then you would just get, it's like, oh, you think something good's gonna happen, and then you just get fucked right back down. And it was like, all right, it's fine. Like, but part of me at one point, I mean, honestly, like, I was like, all right, I have to be prepared for the worst, because it could very well happen, and I can't, like, I don't know, like,
like, we all took turns having our breakdowns. We all were strong for each other. We are so lucky and just so fortunate that we have each other, that I have you and Jess, that I have Rada who started the GoFundMe and just was there. I have my family. I have Cole. Cole came up that day too. Like, he drove up from fucking Huntington Beach, like, from just to be here. And like, seriously, all of my friends have been so amazing, but in family, but it was just like, I think a big coping thing that we learned, and this is important. So if anybody, please, I fucking hope that you do not have to go through anything like this ever. But if you do, the one piece of advice that we got that I think really helped was that you cannot look at it day to day, like your progress. You take things one day at a time, physically and like emotionally, to get through it. You can't worry about the future, but you cannot look at like yesterday and then today and get a sense of where you are. You have to look back like a week ago. It's like a week at a time.
Or like, just or where he was when it started.
Yep.
Because I mean, he was dead and now he is alive. That's all you can look at it from, because otherwise you'll fucking go nuts.
And it goes without saying that we had the absolute worst days of our lives, the absolute worst days. But then that day that so basically what was happening was that his other organs were starting to come back little by little. But the thing was, it was all resting on his brain function. And if that did not come back, there was no point in sustaining his life.
Yeah, because, like, you know, you'd have all these updates on his health, but every time I'd have to remind, like, I'd get excited that, nope, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter until we find out about his brain, because then it just doesn't matter how well his kidneys or his liver is doing. If there's no brain function. And that's the thing that kept just haunting me and just haunting me every night. Yeah. It was
for sure
nuts.
Because I mean, he wasn't awake. So I went straight from the airport to the hospital, and we didn't leave. We did not leave. I spent the night on the floor of the hospital with my mom and with his girlfriend Medora, who, by the way, saved his fucking life.
Yeah.
So I need to just tell you all that she is the most beautiful, kind-hearted, fantastic, super spirited, strong woman that exists on this planet.
Yeah.
Like,
insane.
she's 24 years old and she's a fucking angel. Again, spiritual, religious me is saying that there is an angel on this planet, and it's Medora, because she if she wouldn't have been there that morning giving him compressions and calling 911, he would have died.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I don't remember what I was saying. Oh, I was staying on the floor with them, and so Sam was asleep, essentially. That's what we like to call it, I guess. We just say he was asleep for 13. It was like 13 days. Well, 11 to 13, because the first thing that happened was they were looking for, he would move and stuff, you know, which was like, okay, he's moving his body. He's like adjusting himself. It seemed like, okay, that was big for us, but if he doesn't have purposeful movement, you know, meaning like if they don't, you know, if they ask him to like move his right hand, if he can't do that, if he can't move his right, if he doesn't know his left, if he can't move his toes, whatever, then it's just pointless. So they were waiting for that. And then that fucking day, when we got to the hospital and they asked him questions, they were like, oh yeah, he's nodding yes and no. And we were like, what the fuck? Like, that was the biggest fuck. That was the happiest day of our lives, when it was, he knew things. Like, they asked him, you know, they pointed to my mom and they said, is this your dad? And he shook his head no. And, you know, because he kept saying yes to things. And so they're like, how do we determine? Yeah. And it was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
Too, right? Like, they could tell, they actually could, like, his brain could tell his foot to move. And, like, you know, so that tells you that there's.
When he was answering questions, that's when it became that was like the best day. And then when they finally took out that fucking breathing tube, which was the worst part for him. Once you're awake, just imagine that, like, your fucking like sore throat, huge thing down, you can't talk, you can't move. It's just down your throat.
That is so scary.
I can't. And so when he finally got that, he was awake, and that came out a few days, like 4 days after or something.
Yeah.
Which is 4 days too fucking long, and like that's so hard. But he started talking immediately. Yeah. I thought it was going to take days, because how sore would you be after 2 weeks of that?
Like, and also, like, yes, he could answer questions and stuff, but, like,
could he speak? Would he
know
how
to?
Like,
language is his fucking brain, like, you know,
He came back and he was himself. That day was truly the best day of our lives. And it's so weird. So now it's like, well, you guys, I should tell you what he said the first thing. It's like I knew right away that he was back, because he just goes, like, when I walk in, I'm like, oh my God, Sam. And I just go to grab his face, and he's like, sorry, I almost died twice. And I was like, you asshole. Yeah. I was like, yeah, you fucking better be sorry. And then he goes, having that tube down my throat sucked. Yeah. Like, really long like that. And it just made me laugh so fucking hard. And I was like, Sammy, you're back.
Yeah.
And all he was obsessed with that day was ice.
Because that's the day I got to, I FaceTimed with you guys, right? Was it that day?
I don't remember if it was the first day. It might have been the next day.
Because he was, no, what happened was I FaceTimed with you guys when he still had the fucking tube in his mouth.
Oh, yeah, that was like a couple days before that. Because he was so skinny.
You guys,
he lost like, I think it was like 17 or 19 pounds in 2 days. Yeah. Like, because they had to drain all this fluid from his body. But it was just
because he had that thing and his eyes looked you know, that kind of like big and open.
Yeah.
And he was just making movements with his body. This was before it was out and he could talk, but like he was awake. So I got to FaceTime and say hello to him, and I was just like trying to keep it together. And then we got off, and I was like, just like crying all the way home because I was like, oh my God. The only way I knew it was Sam's because I could see his tattoos. It did not look like Sam. And as much as, you know, it was amazing that he woke up, it's once the tube came out and I got to, we Skyped that first time and he was like cracking jokes and being all funny and shit. I was like, oh my fucking, like I finally, like my asshole like unclenched for the first time in like 2 weeks, fortnight.
A fortnight.
And it was insane. It was just fucking insane.
Well, my dad got a tattoo, his like first official tattoo ever. He said he would never get one. He got one right above his heart that said "Go Sam Go" because that was like from the beginning. That was anytime the slightest thing would go right and we could tell that he was fighting at all. We would always be "Go Sam Go, go Sam Go, go 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 Sam." So that's what we said, and so that became our slogan. And I mean, the fucking community came together. The skateboarders were incredible. We raised so much money. We had an auction. It was just, and the GoFundMe stuff. You guys have been so amazing helping with that. And and I got a new tattoo. I got my tattoo number 8 for Sammy. I got some ice cubes.
Cute.
Ice, baby.
Yeah, he, you know, and he's. I mean, and the thing is like you're not, what do you want to say, like, not out of the woods yet.
No, it's still really scary. It's been 6 weeks. He was kind of stagnant after a month. He got out of the ICU. It was such a big deal. We were so excited. And when something like this happens, severe depression is very common. Yeah. And so we're kind of in the midst of that right now. But also his lungs got worse. Things got a little worse. So it's just, in a smaller hospital in Bismarck, North Dakota, they're not equipped to handle certain things. Yeah. And so they had to airlift him out. And
not before I got to see him.
That's true. Jenna and Cole.
Dakota. Yeah.
This is the first fucking time Jenna had ever been to North Dakota, to my home state. And Sam brought her there. I was like, you know what?
You a bitch. No, after like 12, 13 years of friendship, it's like, damn it. That's not the greatest way to go, but I was so fortunate.
I was so happy to see you, though.
And oh my God, me and Sam, I walk in and Sam just starts crying. And then, me, I'm like, I like grab him and I'm like holding his face. And I'm just like, Sam. And we're just like crying. And it was like so happy because it was, it was fucking terrible being all the way out here. I was like going through so many things, not just for Sam, but for you, because I was so afraid you were coming back.
She texted me one day.
Legit. I was like, dude, I don't think you're coming back.
Yeah.
I was like, I have a feeling even if you come back, you're going to get your stuff and you're going to go home. And then what am I supposed to do? Like,
she was like, what are we going to do? Like, what about our show? Like, what about the podcast? What about our,
our fucking lives?
Our lives together.
Our dreams. Like, I was just like, I don't know. I just had this terrible feeling.
Yeah, but what did I say to you immediately?
I don't remember. But it was
this bitch.
It was like,
I said,
I'm definitely coming home.
Yeah, I said, if anything, this has made me want to work harder and be better and live the life that we're supposed to live. Because so I mean, oh, fucking A, we're all over the place, but that's what this feels like. I mean, I can't even apologize for it because our brains are fucking melted. It's coping with something traumatic like this. I mean, there's at least, for Sam and for Medora, they're dealing with post-traumatic stress. There's depression. There's extreme exhaustion, hospital fatigue. Everybody's fucking nerves are frayed completely. So being around each other.
My fucking eyelashes fell out, all right? Fuck. That was the worst. And I had like severe acne, and I was just like, God, because the stress was literally... I don't know. Again, I don't know how to cope. I'm not very good at it. I don't talk about things. I'm not good at sharing. I'm not good at opening. I tried this time, like being there for you, being there for your fam, and like trying to take care of myself and not be so fucking sad because I was just so sad. So, and there's no rule book. There's no like book I could read that really teaches you how to cope with things, because there is just, you have to figure it out for yourself, and you gotta like watched a lot of Seinfeld.
Yes. Oh God,
a lot of Parks and Recreation.
Yeah, it was coping with the comfort TV was huge.
Yeah, That was how this the only way I got any sleep at night was I'd stay. I mean, but I wasn't asleep. I was in and out all night. But like, yeah, finding, because I think I told you I would just like literally come home and watch Parks and Rec, and that was I had to every room while you were that first week especially was the worst. I mean, it was just fucking horrible. If I had to go to the bathroom, I'd put Parks and Rec on my phone, and I'd bring the phone in with me because I needed that like comfort at all times. Because if I didn't have it, it was just like your brain starts like thinking the worst things. At least mine does. And I was just like, okay, this is not going to happen. And then, you know, and it's also like checking in with you, like wondering whether or not like how much is too much, like how much is not enough, you know, you wanting to be there. I mean, that was tough, you know. But.
Yeah. I mean, the thing I can say too is do not be afraid to reach out for help in something in a situation like this. Like, you know, people can tend to kind of retreat into themselves and just and be like, okay, no, I don't want to burden people. People want to help.
Yeah.
The amount of people that reached out to us and wanted to help was phenomenal. And that's from this too. I got there was so much happening in the country at this time, which I
didn't even like
couldn't even deal with.
No, I mean either.
Like,
I was
like,
in
personal hell.
I was like, maybe it makes me a bad person, but I was like, I could give a fuck about what's going on in the world only because like there's like tunnel vision, you know, or you can only see.
And the second I would look at that, if I would look at the stuff that was going on at the border in Mexico with the immigration and with, or, you know, with the Supreme Court nominations and all that stuff was going on. And it was just like, I can't.
No.
So the hope though that I got from this was the community in Bismarck was insane.
Yeah.
It was insane. Like everybody came out for Sam. Everybody wanted to support Sam. People were like, his friends are so incredible. They were making us like vegan meals because Medora and Sam are vegan.
Yeah.
And so we tried to just really like live that lifestyle for a while. I mean, my dad became a vegetarian. It's like, Sam, it took you a heart attack and 2 cardiac arrests to get dad to join your side.
And just like got him in the paper.
Oh yeah.
He's a local celebrity.
Yeah. I mean, everybody really came out and you know, it was one of the directors of Sleepy Hollow, the summer theater that I used to do, guys, back home. They've been so supportive as well. And one of the directors said to me when I was home that how could this happen to someone who has the biggest heart? How could his heart fail him when he's got the biggest heart of all of us? How could it be bad? And I just thought that summed it up because that's how everyone feels about Sam. Like, yeah, he has his faults. Let me tell you right now, Sam and I have had some issues. We've had some issues.
Sam and I have had issues, and I'm not even, you know, I'm like an outsider compared to her. But
like, that's anybody. No one's fucking perfect. But I will say that I have always, and you feel the same way towards him. It's just, you feel like you want to protect him. You feel like you want to just take care of him. And
he's
now,
like a little baby.
Little baby bird.
Like, hold on to him.
But he, at the same time, he's the fucking strongest, bravest, toughest person I've ever met underneath this like beautiful, vulnerable shell, which makes no sense.
Who's like traveled the United States by himself on a road trip and like
most amazing filmmaker. He has the most beautiful artistic vision.
Yeah,
and he just sees humanity in everything, and he sees the beauty in everything, and he is like obsessed with animals and saving animals. And guys, he's got a feature. He was in the middle of a feature while this is happening. He's filming, and it's incredible, and I can't wait for that to come out.
Yeah,
this boy's got to finish his movie.
He's gonna do it, and you know, he's gonna have to cope with the fact of like what happened to him. He's gonna have to find ways, and I feel like that honestly like is gonna be almost as probably as hard as what he went through at the hospital, coping with like what happened to him and like post-traumatic stress and like having to, because my psychic also talked about how she said he is a fighter. She's like, the doctors he has, they're gonna get him through that, like he'll live, in which he did, and then but she did say he will have to live his life in a completely different way. He will have to take care of himself in a completely different way. So that is going to be coping to the max with like what happened and like learning to like, you know, he's going through this phase where he just it's so hard for him, and I get it, you know, and from being from the outside, we'll never understand, but all we can like reiterate to him is like, dude,
You're alive.
You are alive, and you got the opportunity to keep going. Like, hold on to that and just like try to get through it. And he's got so many things left to do, and like,
I mean,
it's
do you think that
sweating.
like, I'm so hot right now too. We need to cope with that at the moment.
Woo.
Do you think, because like right now it just feels like this period of time has been it's been so trying in every way, shape, and form. I feel like I am a changed person. I am exhausted. Oh, I quit my job, guys.
Whoa.
I made some changes. I said, peace out, theater life.
You only got one life.
Exactly. That's the thing that I took out of this too, was just like everything felt so clear, and it just felt like you have to be happy. You have to do what makes you happy. You have to. And I was like, if Sam can fucking get through this, then I can get through anything else.
Yeah.
Like any fear that I have of the unknown, fuck it.
Yeah.
Fuck it. But it's like this coping period has been so exhausting and so hard, and it's continuing. And that's the thing that people don't understand. Like, everyday life has to continue, and the rest of the world keeps spinning. Yeah. And so now it's just, now we're left with all this confusion of like, what the fuck do we do? Like, how are we supposed to just go on like normal now?
Yeah.
Now that I'm back in Los Angeles, I feel so fucking weird being away. I hate being away from him. I hate, like, you know, trying to just live my normal life again, but I know that it has to happen.
Yeah.
It has to happen. But do you think that do you think he's going to have to cope for the rest of his life, or do you think that there's going to come a point where he's not coping anymore and it's just normal and he feels okay? That's what I'm scared. That's what I'm scared about.
Coping seems hard, like a deep word for the rest of his life. I don't know if it's I think he's going to have to live with it like the rest of his life, but coping means like
dealing with the problem.
I hope that one day,
and difficulty.
I hope that one day when they get him well and he's kicking ass and doing good, he can just continue to live, and that will just be his. Yeah, it's going to be different for the rest of his life.
It's different.
Like, but it doesn't have to be coping. I feel like coping makes it sound like fucking sad and like dark,
and that's what I think the good thing about coping is that it's temporary. I feel like it's temporary.
Yeah.
Because and also because the human body is fucking insane, and that it can get used to anything. Yeah. So eventually it's going to be normal for him, and he's going to feel better again. And even if it's not the same he was before, and you guys, he's got such a long fucking road. I mean, this kid,
he's got at least another like 6 months. Like, he'll be dealing with this till the end of the year. Wouldn't you say?
Well, they say he's got at least a year without working.
Yeah.
I mean, this kid, and he needs to go to a rehab facility for acute physical therapy and acute care, and he has to have a device put into his heart. Yeah. They have to do they have to crack open his chest and place this shit in there, and that's another 6 weeks, and they can't even do that until he's better. And so, you guys, it's such a long road, and the thing that I just hope you guys can do is just think good thoughts. Like, honestly, hold the hands of the people you love when you have a chance. That's a weird thing that I've been doing. It's such a weird thing. Like, I've never been like a touchy-feely person with my brothers or with anybody really, like, because all the people around me are not, especially this one over here.
At me. I don't know what you're talking
it's not like I want to be fucking touching everybody all the time, but I've never been one to, like, we hug. We're a huge hugging family. But, I mean, all we could do when he was lying there was, like, hold his hand, rub his arms, like, stroke his face, like, if we could get to it with all the fucking tubes and shit, like, and just, like, give him tickles and rubs and massages and just, like, holding my brother's hand.
Yeah, he had me fucking rubbing his legs.
Hell yeah.
I was like, boy, you better enjoy this, because damn.
That ain't never happened.
Yeah, he was
again.
like, could you just, like, massage my legs? And what am I going to say?
No. That's all his friends. It was so funny to walk in there and see all his friends, like, just rubbing his body. Like, all these, like, late 20-year-olds just, like, just rubbing, massaging. So it was so amazing. But it made me feel different about things. Like, why would I feel weird about holding somebody's hand? Like, that's all I wanted. Like, sitting, now I'm going to start crying. Because, like, that's, for me, that was the thing where I was like, if I could just do that forever, that's all I wanted. It was just like if I didn't want that to ever go away. So it was like, okay, Sammy, for the rest of your life, I'm going to be this really creepy, weird sister who just holds your hand all day. Every time I see him, I'm going to be like, hi, buddy. Let's hold hands.
I know.
Oh, my God, you're crying too?
Don't fucking, I'm sweating. My stomach hurts. I am like, we got to wrap this up.
We got to wrap it up because you know what? You heard it. You heard the majority of it.
Yeah.
We are coping still. And you know what? This podcast helps us.
Yeah. And we'll be dealing with this probably for quite a
long
while.
time.
We'll never, it'll always be a part of us now because we like got through it. But like I was talking earlier today, like hopefully, this year fucking flew. It is going to be Christmas in a couple weeks. I hope y'all like get that. And
Which
so
is Sam's favorite holiday.
Yes,
so you
it
best
is.
believe we going hard this year.
And I was like, in a year from now, we're going to look back at this and be like, holy shit, that was a year ago.
Whew.
And we're just going to continue to live our lives.
It's going to get better. Things are going to feel better. We're going to do what makes us happy. And
That's how you cope.
Yeah.
Just find the ways to stay happy. Because, like, otherwise, what's the fucking point?
And that's why we doing this show for you.
Yeah.
Boys.
Okay, we need to wrap this up because I am about
to shit your pants.
Yes. We love you guys. Please just keep listening. I thought today was like not that sad. It's not as sad as I thought it could be.
Nah. Oh, it could have been real sad.
Oh, it could have been real sad. We could have gone down
like I only cried right at the end.
Yeah,
so yay.
not bad. But so if you'll excuse me,
she's gonna rip it.
No, I just seriously, I think I might need to be. Something is happening. Oh
okay,
my God.
she's holding on for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
That's all we've got.
We love you guys. Thank you for listening to our story. Thank you for like holding on while we went through all.
We had a little break.
Yeah, I had to take a little mo, but we're back.
We're back.
For Sam's sake, we're gonna fucking kill this.
That's right. Because you know what? He listens to the show.
Yeah, he's a patron, motherfuckers. He's in a hospital bed donating money, bitches.
We shouted out Ray, but I'm gonna shout out Sam too. Sam fucking Sprints-o-matic.
Sam can sit in the hospital and donate. You can too. So just be a patron. Help support the show. We also got we got t-shirts.
Oh.
So for guys, if you guys are interested, we've got like limited edition t-shirts.
Yeah, so DM, check out the photos on Instagram and DM us.
If you want one, let us know.
2 Blank Girls Podcast.
Woo, we love you guys. Okay,
bye.